Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our home. Home ownership made easy. A webinar made possible by Federal Land in partnership with First Metro Securities and PSBank. Before we begin, let me see who among you here are first time home buyers. Please type 1 in the chat box. Okay, so everyone here who are first time home buyers. Anyway, all right, so thank you. Lee, okay, so for those who already have their investments, great job. And for those first-time buyers, may I say congratulations, you've taken the first step in investing, and that is to learn where you are putting your hard-earned money into, and you've come to the right place. So today we will start off by learning why we should invest in real estate from our guest speaker from First Metro Securities, Mr. Andoy Beltran, followed by me. What I will discuss how it's possible to get that dream home and what federal land has to offer. Short, our guests from PSBank, Ms. Cecille Rios and Mr. Arman Laureano, will tell us how simple it is to get a bank loan with PSBank. Should you have questions, feel free to type them in the chat box anytime, and we will do our best to answer all your queries. Okay, so to add to your excitement, we will be giving away some raffle prizes. So for our first raffle, our facilitators will be choosing the early bird. Okay, so the early bird is, who is it? I will announce it later because you have to stay until the end of the program. Okay, so for our prizes, First Metro Securities will be giving away 5 vouchers worth 500 pesos each from 7-Eleven. Thank you, First Metro. And we will also be giving away some travel pouches from Federal Land. Okay, so let me start by introducing myself. My name is Ianna of Federal Land, and I will be your host for today. I am a PRC and HLURB licensed real estate broker with almost 10 years experience in real estate industry. And I am also the site officer of Federal Land. Introducing our next guest speaker, Mr. Andoy Beltran. He is an Assistant Vice President and Head of Business Development and Market Education of First Metro Securities. He is licensed by SEC, DSP, and Bloomberg to deal, talk about, and teach the public about stocks, bonds, mutual funds, unit investment trust funds, exchange-traded funds, and everything in between. He was named to the 10 Outstanding Young Employees of the Philippines back in 2013, a member of the Board of Directors of the Bosconian International Chamber of Commerce, President of the San Beda Economics Alumni Association, and he is also the guy behind Let's Invest PH on Facebook and Instagram. Okay, so let's begin with our first topic. May I call on Mr. Andoy Beltran?
Yeah, thank you so much, Ianna, for that intro. Let me just share my presentation materials. Hold on. I'm going to need your confirmation, Ian. Are you seeing my materials? You guys seeing my materials?
Yes, sir, you can see it.
All right. Thank you. Again, thank you so much and good afternoon. Welcome, guys, to home. Welcome home. Home ownership made easy. But of course, first off, let's talk about in the Philippine setting, how do you actually own a home? Paano ba tayo nagkakaroon ng real estate property? Paano ba tayo nagkakaroon ng pagmamay-ari? Paano ba tayo nagkakaroon ng pagmamay-ari ng real estate property in the Philippines? There are actually 4 general ways for us to become homeowners. Number 1 is by way of inheritance or donation. Ibibigay sa'yo, ipapamana sa'yo or idodonate sa'yo. Number 2 is by way of direct purchase. May pera ka, and then gusto mong bumili, and then you directly buy a property. And then you also have an option to borrow. No? So that's essentially the reason why we have our partners from PSBank. Because they're going to demystify lahat ng mga bagay na alam nyo, hindi nyo alam about home loans. and they're going to talk about how simple it is actually, for you to borrow money and apply for a home loan. And then we're also going to talk about by way of saving and investing. Syempre, yung iba sa atin hindi naman lahat merong pambili agad ng real estate. Hindi naman lahat kayang pamanahan ng real estate property. At yung iba naman parang ayaw nila or wala sila, hindi pa sila capable to borrow, para mag-apply ng home loan. So there's always this saving and investing, for us to become homeowners. So sabi ko nga, pagdating sa home loan, we have our partners from PSBank to talk about this. Pagdating sa saving and investing, for us to be able to eventually afford our dream home, there's First Metro Sec, and that's essentially what I'm going to talk about. For us to be able to eventually afford buying a real estate property from no other than federal land. So again, I'm going to talk about wire. So at this day and age, na halos lahat ng ginagamit natin wireless na, here I am talking about wire because I'm going to talk about every reason you need to know why you should invest in real estate. So first off, please allow me to quickly introduce the brand I'm representing. I'm representing First Metro Securities Brokerage Corporation. We are the stock brokerage arm of the Metro Bank Group. So we're group mates, We're group mates with Federal Land and with PSBank. But we're not your typical stock brokerage firm because we happen to be the 2017, 2018, 2020, and then 2021 best broker in the Philippines. Just so you know, before the pandemic, what I normally do on a day-to-day basis, even Friday afternoon, Saturday mornings, I usually go from campus to campus, office to office, island to island, and even country to country, talking to Filipinos about investing. But during the pandemic, I saw myself naman bouncing from Facebook Live sessions to Zoom meetings and everything in between, because learning never stops. It should never stop. And again, thank you guys for spending your Friday afternoon with us, And that's also the reason why I found myself getting, for getting guests, getting guests and guesting from various webinars, from TGFI to the Department of Finance to the Filipino Times to the Bureau of Treasury, and even our very own First Metro Securities as official YouTube channel. And that also paved the way to me establishing Let's Invest PH on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. Now, why are we doing this? Why are we supposed to take these things seriously? Whether you're a first-time investor, sabi nga ni Ianna, or you're just looking at ways for you to save and invest for your dream home. We need to know about these things because generally speaking, Filipinos are financially illiterate. We know how to multiply money. We know how to multiply numbers, but we don't know how to multiply money. We don't know how to grow money because we don't know where to start. 80% of us don't have budgets to work with, and that's why 90% of us don't save or can't afford to save. That's why 97% of us can't even invest in our very own local stock market. And that's why after everything said and done, 97% of us will still end up retiring poor. And that's why according to the Asian Development Bank, 70% of Filipinos don't have their own dwelling. Hindi pa nga sinasabi dito na bahay, dwelling lang, parang just a roof, to protect them from the elements. 70% of Filipinos don't have this. At the end of the day, pagkatapos ng araw na to, you have 70% of Filipinos thinking, paano ako magsusurvive through the night, And that's a problem because not every Filipino have this thing they call home, to go home to. That's why it's very important for us to understand ano ba yung mga importanteng dapat kong malaman for me to get started. Well, quickly, you just need to understand that there are they're just a handful of legitimate investment outlets that we have we can choose from. You have deposits, you have bonds, you have stocks, and of course you have real estate to choose from. Just so you know, they're arranged in that fashion, pataas, because of their risk, return, and time horizon features. Habang tumataas yung position niya, yung level niya dyan sa nakikita nyo sa screens nyo, tumataas yung potential return ng investment outlet. Pero kasabay nun, kaakibat nun, tumataas din yung potential risk niya. So hindi lang parating kumikita tayo ng pera, hindi lang parating returns ang dapat nating tingnan. You also need to factor in risks, no? In the Philippines, madalas maraming nabibiktima ng investment scams because they get promised the moons and the stars. Madalas ang intro sa atin, ang pitch sa atin ng mga gustong kumuha ng pera natin. Okay lang, dito mo na ilagay yung pera mo because walang kalugi-lugi dyan. Safe na safe ang pera mo dito. Tapos malaki pa ang kitaan. From that statement alone, makikita natin na you're being promised high returns, and you're also being told that when you invest in that particular investment vehicle, napakababa ng risk. No? So low risk, high return. And in the Philippines, kahit hindi lang sa Pilipinas, no, generally speaking, wala po tayong investment outlet na lehitimo na nagbibigay sa atin ng napakataas na returns na walang kalugihan. Kung meron man po, yun yung sinasabi natin na red flag na, no? Red flag when it comes to investing, because a lot of times you're in the process of being duped, no, into an investment scam. That's why it's very important na mag-umpisa tayo dito, no? Bakit ba sila lehitimo? Because they are being regulated. There are regulators, they are being regulated. Pagdating sa deposits, no, you have low risk, low returns. Your money makes more money by way of interest earnings. Ang tawag sa'yo dito, depositor. The ideal time horizon there is less than 1 year because again, you're just earning so much, napakababa, no? Just a quick view, no, ng timeline natin from 2019. Regular deposit accounts are giving us 0.25%. During the pandemic, naging 0.125%. And ngayon, as we speak, most major banks in the Philippines are just giving us 0.0625%. So napakababa na. But then again, it's still legitimate, no? It's being regulated by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. You have the bond market, which provides us with medium risk and medium return. Compared to the stock market na isang source lang ng income ang binibigay sa atin, dito sa bonds, we're getting capital appreciation and coupon payments at the same time for coupon paying bonds. And then the ideal time horizon there is because just because it's giving us more, it's giving us better returns, pwede ng medium term, no? So 1 to 10 years. And it's jointly regulated by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas and the Securities Exchange Commission. Now let's talk about stocks. Stock market, high risk, high return na yan because you're now talking about owning or co-owning already successful businesses, no? So pagdating sa bonds, tawag sa atin bondholder because pinapautang natin ang gobyerno, pinapautang natin ang isang korporasyon. Sa stock market, ang tawag ngayon sa atin, we're stockholders or shareholders because we co-own publicly listed corporations. That's why when it comes to time horizon, okay lang na mag-long term tayo when it comes to stocks because especially if we're earning dividends, no? And especially if we're owning profitable companies. It's being regulated by the Securities Exchange Commission, the Philippine Stock Exchange. Under the Philippine Stock Exchange, have the CMIC or the Capital Markets Integrity Corporation. And of course, we also abide by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. And then lastly, we have real estate. Pwede nating sabihin na higher risk at higher return ng real estate, no? Because medyo mataas ang kailangan nating capital pagdating sa real estate ownership. But mamaya pag-uusapan natin kung ano-ano ba yung mga pwedeng paraan, no? Parang pinaka-diskarte natin for us to still own real estate, invest in real estate without breaking the bank. Our money makes more money by way of capital appreciation. Syempre, tumataas yan. Zonal value pa lang, tumataas na yan. And then you also have the option to either rent it out or lease it out. That's why pagdating sa time horizon, okay din sa kanya na long term. And it's being regulated by quite a number of agencies. You have the Bureau of Internal Revenue, you have the HLURB, you have the Registry of Deeds for the paperwork, you have the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, and the Securities Exchange Commission. And now that we've talked about your general options, legitimate options, ang magandang pag-usapan naman dito, of course, but this is home. No? We're going to talk about real estate. We're going to talk about owning your first home. Real estate. What makes real estate investing very attractive? And ano din ba yung mga downside, no, sa pag-i-invest sa real estate? Importante na malaman natin, hindi lang tayo push ng push. Sige, invest ka ng invest, no? Without really talking about the pitfalls. Siyempre, dapat pros and cons, no? Pagdating sa real estate, ngayon pa lang sinasabi na natin, no, sa survey pa nga ni Ianna kanina, sino dito yung mga first time looking for their first homes in the market for their very own real estate property. Importante na malaman natin yung mga problema na kailangan yung lagpasan pagdating sa real estate investing. Number one, it's expensive. Number two, medyo may limited access to capital lalo na kung wala tayong cash no pambili. Kaya nga again, nandiyan ang mga kaibigan natin from PSBank. You have to factor in maintenance. Tawag natin dito minsan phantom costs kasi minsan iniisip natin okay na meron kang condo unit, okay na meron kang house and lot. Tapos na problema ko pero hindi mo alam. Dapat from time to time check mo yung bubong. Baka naman may butas yung bubong mo, baka naman inaana yung mga kahoy, baka naman dapat magpa-repaint ka, baka dapat magpa-renovate ka, baka kailangan mag-ayos ka ng sirang tiles. No, yun yung mga bagay na hindi natin naiisip ngayon, pero dapat ngayon pa lang i-factor in na natin na dapat meron tayong budget para sa kanila as we go along. You need to factor in concentration risk, and of course you have to factor in liquidity risk kasi sabi nga natin mahal siya. So ibig sabihin if it's time for you to flip your real estate property, gusto mo na siyang ibenta, it wouldn't be that easy. So parang ngayon pa lang gusto na nating i-manage yung expectations nyo na while it's a legitimate investment outlet, these are the factors that you need to consider for you to check, tama nga ba? Para sa akin nga ba to? No? Kasi again, not all investments are created equal. So let's talk about expensive. Why is it expensive? Bakit pa expensive ang real estate properties? No? Ano bang nagko-cost nitong pag-shoot up sa presyo niya? Let's talk about market forces. Let's talk about the law of supply and demand. Pag ang isang bagay, mataas ang demand, pag-usapan muna natin, yun, nasa panahon tayo ng pandemya, early 2020, hindi pa masyadong pumuputok ang problema sa COVID-19. Early 2020, ang binulaga tayo would be yung somehow, hindi talaga siya pumutok pero yung pag-aalboruto ng bulkang Taal. Kaya early 2020, nagkaroon ng surge sa demand ng masks. Face masks. Okay, wala pang COVID-19, hindi pa natin masyadong pinoproblema yung COVID-19. So ngayon dito nakikita naramdaman natin na bababa ang supply ng medical masks pero halos lahat ng tao kahit nasa Manila, kahit wala ka sa Batangas, Laguna, Cavite, apektado tayo because of the ashfall, no? We were demanding, we were looking for face masks. And that's why tumaas ang presyo ng face masks. So dati yung isang kahon daw niya kayang ibenta ng 100 pesos, nag-shoot up to even 1,000, 1,500 pesos because people were willing to pay for that amount of money just for them to be safe, just for them to feel safe. Na meron silang masks na susuotin paglabas nila, merong masks na susuotin yung mga anak nila kapag nasa labas, merong masks na susuotin yung mga kamag-anak nila kapag lalabas. Tapos nung nag-normalize na yung supply ng masks, ito pwedeng sabihin natin even during the time of COVID, no? Bumaba na yung demand lalo na nung nagkaroon na ng reusable masks, no? Kaya na nating pwede mo siyang laban, pwede mo siyang linisin, tapos gagamitin mo na lang ulit, hindi mo na kailangan bumili ng disposable. Pag bumagsak ang demand ng isang bagay at kahit mataas pa rin ang supply niya, bumabagsak ang presyo. That's why ngayon, no, kung titingnan nyo, sometime 2020, nung nauso, nung ni-require ng IATF, ang face shields naman, yung mga acrylic face shields, yung mga plastic na face shields, online, Facebook Marketplace, you can get one for 150, 200 pesos a piece. That was the time nung unang beses na ni-require tayo, pag lumabas ka ng bahay, bukod sa face mask, dapat may face shield ka rin. Kapag wala kang face shield, huhulihin ka ng mga pulis. So ganun, yun yung pagtakot sa atin, no? But okay lang naman because ang iniisip daw nila would be our safety, no? So okay lang. Pero dahil nga hindi naman siya disposable, pwede mo siyang gamitin lalo na kung naalagaan mo siya ng maayos, bumagsak pa rin ang demand sa kanya from 150 to 200. Ngayon, major malls, pwede kang bumili 50 pesos, 3 pieces. Mataas ang supply, mababa ang demand, bagsak ang presyo. Ganun din pagdating sa real estate. Mataas ang demand because more and more people are working hard, saving, investing, borrowing for them to eventually get their very own real estate property. Mataas ang demand pero napakababa ng supply. Bakit? Maraming padagdag ng padagdag ang populasyon ng tao sa mundo, hindi lang sa Pilipinas. So ibig sabihin, habang dumadami yung mga tao na gustong magkaroon ng real estate property, tumataas ang demand, pero hindi naman nadadagdagan yung vacant lots. Hindi naman nadadagdagan yung available real estate in the market. And that's essentially the reason why prices are shooting up. Again, law of supply and demand. Kaya nung unang panahon, no, some 10, 20 years ago, okay lang kapag nagpatayo ka ng bungalow. Pero ngayon, parang pinaka-practical choice na is for you to build a multi-level structure kasi it will be able to house more, it will be able to give you more floor space, and it will be able to give you more freedom, no? Mas maganda, mas kaya mong gumalaw ng maayos because again, limited ang real estate property, limited ang real estate supply. And that's also the reason why nagkaroon tayo ng literal and figurative rise of condominium towers, because for the same parcel of land na usually pinagtatayuan lang ng low-level, low-rise housing units before, you get to house more and more people to cater to the increase in demand. Talk about developments. May mga developers nga tayo na kino-convert pa nila minsan yung bodies of water to reclamation projects just for them to be able to, build more malls, build more casinos, build more condo towers, no? And again, that's essentially the reason why the prices of real estate properties are shooting up, no? So apart from expensive, pag-usapan din natin yung limited access to capital. So eto naman, kahit sabi nga natin kanina, no, wala kang cash, hindi ka pamamanahan, hindi ka bibigyan ng donasyon. Paano naman, Andoy, kapag gusto kong manghiram ng pera? Okay lang ba 'yon, no? Hindi ba masama 'yon sa financial capacity ko, no? Again, let me be very clear with you that not all utangs are created equal. So kanina pinag-usapan natin, not all investments are created equal, not all utangs are created equal. Okay lang naman na mangutang for as long as you know what you're getting yourself into. Ang tawag natin dyan, good utang. A good utang is a kind of utang that gives you more benefits kumpara sa cost. Halimbawa, ang cost ng utang mo sa PSBank is 2 million. You borrow ka ng 2 million for you to buy, let's say, a vacant lot. Borrow ka ng 2 million for you to renovate your house. Borrow ka ng 2 million for it to serve as your down payment para sa bahay or para sa condo unit. Yung 2 million pesos na yun yung cost mo, but the benefit far outweighs the cost because it will be able to provide your family with shelter. It will be able to provide you and your family somewhere, someplace, something to call your own, no? The benefit should outweigh the cost. So it's a good kind of utang. It will increase the value of your money. It will increase the value of your property. It will increase the value, your value, no? Kasi from 2 million, eventually it will increase in value. Kasi sabi nga natin, tumataas ang presyo because of demand. And most especially, it's a good kind of utang, especially if the asset's lifespan exceeds the term of the loan. So ibig ko sabihin dito, for example, nangutang ka from PSBank home loan 20 years. But during that 20 years span, you make sure na yung mga maliliit na sira ng bahay mo, ginagawa mo agad, pinapa-repair mo agad, no? So that means even after 20 years, no, na mabayaran mo fully yung home loan mo with PSBank, pwede mo pang pakinabangan for a good number of years pa yung bahay niyon because alagang-alaga siya. Pwede siyang maging ancestral house, pwede siyang maging rest house, pwede siyang ipamana pa because naalagaan mo siya ng maayos. So again, it's a good kind of utang if the asset's lifespan exceeds the term of the loan. Ano pa ba yung mga good kinds of utang if your money's worth exceeds the cost? So sabi nga natin kanina, yung benefit outweighs the cost. If you avail, for example, a multipurpose loan for you to be able to start investing in stocks. Wala kang pambili sa stocks ngayon, wala kang pambili ng mutual funds. So sabi mo, sige, okay lang. Sabi naman ni Andoy, it's a good kind of utang kung gusto mong palaguin yung halaga ng pera mo. So okay lang for you to avail a multipurpose loan for you to be able to eventually start investing. It's okay for you to avail a personal loan, for example, para bumili ka ng laptop for you to give to your kids for their online classes on weekdays. Tapos pag weekends, gagamitin mo yung laptop for your online business. It's a good kind of utang because again, meron kang dahilan, meron kang intention behind it. At yung intention mo is to grow your money. No? So again, for example, it's a PSBank home loan. for you to be able to eventually call yourself a homeowner eventually. So again, those are good kinds of utang. So okay lang sa kanya. The idea there is for you to borrow money for you to make more money. Borrow money, save. Borrow money, invest. Borrow money, buy businesses. Borrow money for you to make more money, for you to eventually afford owning a federal land real estate property. No? One way for you to save and invest for your federal land real estate property could be by way of investing in stocks. Ano ba tong stock market? Simply put, iniisip natin pagdating sa stock market, Andoy, di ba para sa mga mayayaman lang yan? Ang stock market, Andoy, di ba para sa mga business grad, sa mga finance grad lang yan? Para sa mga tao na mayroong panahon na mag-monitor ng market, no? Para sa mga tao na naiintindihan yung mga charts na pinapakita nyo, yung mga binabasa nyo na technical analysis, yung mga candlesticks, di ba para sa kanila lang yan? Hindi po eh. Pagdating sa stock market investing, hindi mo kailangan itong mga bagay na to for now because you're talking about buying shares, co-owning, publicly listed corporations. Kailangan mo dito an active stock brokerage account. Kailangan mo lang mamili from close to 300 stocks to choose from. Pero kung nararamihan ka dyan sa 300 na yan, you can always limit your choices to what we call the blue chip stocks or the Philippine Stock Exchange Index. Ito yung heavily traded, liquid, stable, and most importantly, regular dividend paying stocks in the Philippines. And most importantly, dapat mo ring malaman na dito kumikita ka by way of price appreciation and dividends, kagaya nung pinag-usapan natin kanina, no? So ano ba tong blue chips, no? Ano ba tong blue chip stocks na pinag-uusapan natin? Sabi nga natin, hindi mo kailangan mamili from among close to 300 stocks. You can actually limit your choices down to 30. Tawag natin sa kanila PSEI, Philippine Stock Exchange Index, index stocks or blue chips. Ito po sila. Sila po yung isa sa mga dahilan, no? Bakit nagiging attractive ang pag-i-invest sa bansa because sila yung barometer, sila yung pinaka-representative ng stock market natin. They may be famous, familiar siguro kayo sa mga logos nila, familiar kayo sa mga businesses na to, but behind that, behind the fame, no, behind the fortune, merong dahilan kung bakit sila blue chips, no? They're called blue chips because they're historically proven to weather economic downturns and even the pandemic. They're the biggest companies in their respective sectors. Pagdating sa branding, top of mind sila. Food and beverage, meron ka ng top 3 agad. Meron kang top 3 pagdating sa construction. Meron kang top 3 pagdating sa travel. Meron kang top 3 pagdating sa banking. So they're top of mind when it comes to brands. And most importantly, lalo na sa atin bilang investors, stockholders, they're consistent when it comes to dividend payments. No? It's as if you're owning a business without having to run a business. Co-owner ka ng isang restaurant pero hindi ka kailangang gumising ng maaga to open a branch. Co-owner ka ng isang real estate corporation pero hindi ka kailangang lumayo sa pamilya mo for you to oversee constructions. Hindi kailangan ganun because you are a stockholder but you're not running the show for them. Pagdating sa stock market investing, it's as if you're transitioning, no, from simply an investor to becoming an entrepreneur. And the good thing about that is hindi mo kailangan ng malaking halaga. Again, for as little as 5,000 pesos, you may actually get started. Sabi nga natin kanina, you earn by way of capital appreciation and coupon and dividend payment. So capital appreciation is simply put when you buy something low and then you sell something high. When you buy something low, especially during the pandemic, and then you sell something high, that's how you make money. But again, it's just one of the two. The second way for you to earn money is by way of dividend payments. No, so if you're holding on to that stock long enough, especially during the time na nagbibigay sila ng dividendo, you're eligible to receive dividends because you're a part owner, you're a shareholder of that particular corporation. Ang dividends, ang tawag natin dyan is profit sharing, and you can't share what you don't have. So ibig sabihin, hindi lahat ng stocks nagbibigay ng dividends. You have to choose your stocks wisely. So titingnan natin, ito ba yung mga ano ba yung mga profitable na kumpanya, no? And those are the things that we provide you with. Those are the things that First Metro Sec takes pride in because we provide you everything you need to know even before you start investing. So for example, itong si Jollibee, even during the time of the pandemic, it was able to give its its investors, shareholders, at least 1 peso 30 centavos for every share that they own. Again, that's very minimal. That could be very small compared to the historical, no, the historical dividend payments of Jollibee, but that's still something, especially if you're going to consider that 2020 was the time of the pandemic. All right. So next, Andoy, what if I'm still clueless? Wala pa rin akong idea. I don't think that I'm the investor perfect for stock market investing. What can you recommend? Perhaps next on my list would be mutual funds. No, pagdating sa mutual funds, it's pooling money of investors, like-minded investors with mutual objectives together. It gets managed by full-time professional fund managers. It gets invested in approved, publicly disclosed investment vehicles. So ibig sabihin, even before you invest, even before you buy, even before you put your money into that particular mutual fund, may idea ka na kung saan nila ilalagay because it's publicly disclosed. They're required to do that para at least alam mo kung saan mapupunta yung pera mo kapag nag-invest ka doon. And then, when they generate returns, they get passed back on to you, the investors. Importante na malaman nyo it's legit. It's established under Republic Act 2629 or the Investment Company Act. For you to be able to determine if the mutual fund you're investing in, gusto mo palang pag-investan, is legit, madaling-madali lang. Kailangan mo lang siyang hanapin sa website ng sec.gov.ph. It provides you instant diversification. Kapag bumili ka ng isang mutual fund, kaya nga bag yung ginamit kong example dyan, no, yung visual aid natin, is because pag sa loob ng isang bag, marami ng laman na investments yun. Pwedeng 20, 30, even up to 40 different individual securities ang laman nun just by buying one fund. So that provides you with instant diversification. It's your ownership at yung performance niya, no? It's being measured by net asset value per share of that particular investment company you're buying. It provides you with access to high income investments. Ibig sabihin nun, yung mga investment facilities, investment outlets na nabibili niya, na-afford bilhin ng mutual fund kasi you're pooling money together na hindi mo kayang bilhin on your own because again, very limited ang capital natin. It's very liquid, hindi kagaya ng stock market na kailangan mong maghanap ng buyer if you're selling. Hindi kagaya ng stock market na kailangan mong maghanap ng seller if you're buying. It's very liquid. Kapag gusto mong bumili, the mutual fund company can sell shares to you kung may available shares naman sila, no? And then kapag gusto mong magbenta at walang bumibili, the mutual fund company can buy it from you. And then most importantly, no, pagdating sa pera, pagdating sa kitaan, it's exempt. Yung kita mo sa mutual funds, it's exempt from capital gains tax. And most importantly, you get to take advantage of professional fund management services. So parang ina-outsource mo yung decision making when it comes to investments. And most importantly, napakamura. Sa stock market, minimum investment amount 5,000 pesos, similar with mutual funds. For as little as 5,000 pesos, pwede kang mag-start mag-invest. No? So parang simply put, pagdating sa stock market, parang ikaw ang driver. Kapag ikaw ang driver, kailangan nakafocus ka sa daan. Kailangan wala kang distractions. At dapat bibigyan ka niya ng full control. So, ibig sabihin, kung gusto mong huminto dito para bumili ng isang stock, kung gusto mong huminto next stop para magbenta ng stock, okay lang because you have control. You are the driver. Sa mutual funds naman, hindi ganun ang sitwasyon. Sa mutual fund, meron kang driver. So, nasa backseat ka, nasa likod ka. You have a driver. The difference is your driver doesn't listen to you because you are hiring your driver/fund manager to make decisions for you, not to listen to you. But the good thing about that is because you have a driver, you have a fund manager, less focus ka sa market. Pwedeng patulog-tulog ka na lang, papetiks-petiks ka na lang sa weekend because you know that you have a fund manager making those decisions for you. And you have a driver, you have a fund manager that chooses the route and the destination for you. So hindi siya kagaya ng Grab, hindi siya kagaya ng Uber na from point A to point B ihahatid ka. Dito ibang usapan. Ang nagde-decide kung nasa ng point A at point B would be your fund manager. Nakikisakay ka lang sa diskarte niya. Alright? Next. Andoy, what if hindi ko masyadong gusto yung stocks, hindi ko masyadong gusto yung mutual funds, konting features lang ng stocks at konting features lang ng mutual funds yung gusto ko. the good thing about that is meron pa rin. Meron pa rin tayong investment outlet na ganun ang itsura, no? You have the best features of stocks combined with the best features of mutual funds. We call it an exchange traded fund. And in the Philippines, there only happens to be one ETF. No, it's our very own First Metro Exchange Traded Fund, or FMETF. An exchange traded fund is budget friendly, sabi nga natin, no? It's super simple. It's very tradable, hindi kagaya ng mutual funds na merong mga minimum holding period, 90 days, 180 days. Ito, tradable. Kapag binili mo na siyang umaga, tapos kumita ka ng afternoon, pwede mo siyang ibenta. And then, off to your next trade. It combines the best features of stocks and mutual funds. And the good thing about that is, kung namumurahan ka sa stocks, 5,000. Kung namumurahan ka sa mutual funds, 5,000. Ito, ETF, the best of the best in the Philippines. Stocks and mutual funds, the best features. Minimum amount, 1,500 pesos. FMETF essentially gives you access to all 30 of the best stocks in the Philippines. Napag-usapan natin kanina, no? Blue chip stocks, PSEI, index stocks. Kapag binili mo sila isa-isa ngayon as we speak, prepare to shell out somewhere between 700 to 730,000 pesos. To some people, okay na yan. Medyo mura na yan, no? But hindi para sa karamihan ng mga Pilipino. 700,000 pesos initial investment, parang kahit the best of the best yung pinag-uusapan natin, ang mahal pa rin yan. It's still very expensive. So what FMETF did, these companies, the blue chips, the best of the best, dividend-paying stocks, inilagay niya in one basket. In that basket, what we call FMETF is something you can buy for as little as 1,500 pesos. So it's as if you are buying one FMETF, but you're getting 30 of the best stocks in the Philippines. All right. So that's the power being given to you as investors by FMETF. Now, next is, let's talk about real estate. Andoy, kanina when you were introducing real estate to us, sabi mo, merong paraan for people, for Filipinos to invest in real estate without breaking the bank. Real estate investments combined with the features of mutual funds, this is a relatively new outlet in the Philippines. This is a relatively new investment asset class in the Philippines. And this is what we call REITs, or Real Estate Investment Trust. A real estate investment trust gives Filipinos, gives you and me, the opportunity to co-own income-generating commercial real estate assets like office buildings, malls, hotels, condos, hospitals, and parking lots for as little as 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 pesos. Sabi nga natin kanina, no, real estate investing is expensive, kailangan mong mangutang, you have to think about maintenance, concentration risk, and liquidity risks. These problems are solved exclusively by the Real Estate Investment Trust because it's something available for us for a very minimal amount. It minimizes the need for us to borrow. It gives you instant diversification. Ibig sabihin, kapag bumili ka ng isang real estate investment trust, pagmamayari mo na yung mall, pagmamayari mo na yung parking lot, pagmamayari mo na yung office space, pagmamayari mo na yung hospital, condo, no, hotel. No need to spend on maintenance, no need to spend on fire insurance, no need to spend on insurance. It's professionally managed. Kung sa mutual funds, you have your fund manager. Sa REITs, you have your admin manager, you have your property managers. It's very liquid. It provides you with guaranteed dividends. By law, nasa batas po ng REIT sa Pilipinas, REIT companies, real estate investment trust companies, should distribute 90% of their income by way of dividends. And yung dalawang real estate investment trust companies ngayon sa market, they're doing it, they're distributing dividends once a quarter. So every 3 months, yung mga investors ng real estate investment trusts dito sa Pilipinas receive something from their investments, guaranteed dividends. And again, for as little as 2,500 pesos, you may start investing in REITs. No? So if you'd like to make money by way of commercial income-generating real estate properties, prepare to spend billions of pesos for you to be able to buy buildings, hospitals, condos. No? But when it comes to real estate investment trusts, no need for you to spend millions or billions of pesos. Because again, for as little as 2,500 pesos, you may start investing and co-owning commercial real estate assets in the Philippines. The good thing about this is by way of stocks, mutual funds, ETFs, or REITs, you're making your money work. You're making your money make more money, and that's okay. It's a very good decision because by doing so, you're making your money work hard because your money does not actually require sleep. Your money does not require vacation leaves. Hindi niya kailangan magpahinga. Sir, nababurn out na ako. Pwede bang magpahinga muna ako? Hindi sasabihin sa iyo ng pera mo 'yan. Yung pera mo hindi siya tinatamaan ng COVID, hindi siya nagkakasakit, hindi siya nanghihina. It just keeps on working. Even while you sleep, your money keeps on working. Your money doesn't get sick. Your money works for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and that's probably the best decision you're going to make is for you to make your money grow, make your money work hard. No? By way of stocks, for you to own a business without having to run the business for as little as 5,000 pesos. By way of mutual funds, for you to build a diversified, professionally managed portfolio for as little as 5,000 pesos. By way of ETFs, no, in investing in stable, top performing, dividend paying companies in the Philippines, the best of the best, for as little as 1,500 pesos, or by way of real estate investment trusts, which gives you the power to co-own income generating commercial real estate properties and receive guaranteed dividends every year for as little as 2,500 pesos. All of them available with First Metro Sec, through First Metro Sec. Stocks, mutual funds, ETFs, REITs, one account for all your investment needs, including bonds, including UITFs soon enough. No, so that's the power being given to you by First Metro Sec. You have the power to choose from ALFM mutual funds, ATRAM, FAMI, PhilAm Asset Management Inc., PhilEquity, and Sun Life mutual funds in one account. You may be able to fund your First Metro Sec account online, Metro Remit, Metro Bank, PSBank online, BDO, BPI, Land Bank, OF Bank online, by way of MasterCard, Visa, and even JCB credit card payments, GCash, Coins.ph, Union Bank, Click, 7-Eleven, and soon enough, Paymaya. We also happen to have on-demand webinars, financial literacy webinars through our YouTube channel. And just in case you'd like to get your investment journey started, it can be done in as easy as 3 simple steps. Number 1, visit our website, www.firstmetrosec.com.ph. Number 2, complete the online form. And number 3, complete the document uploading online. And just in case you've heard from it through this webinar, when the system asks you, when our account opening facility asks you, how did you learn about us? Click seminar or event and then type in our account opening code, HOME or home. Para at least alam namin na dito nyo nalaman, dito kayo nag-open through us. And just so I can personally vouch for your application. So again, before I end, let me just remind you that it doesn't matter how little or how big you're earning. You become rich when you start to manage your spending. Napakalaki nga ng sweldo mo, napakalaki nga ng kinikita mo, pero napakarami naman ng ginagastos mong pera, then wala ring matitira sa'yo for your saving and investments. Pero kung kahit maliit ang kinikita mo, you make it a point to live a modest life, you live below your means, konti lang yung ginagastos mo sa necessities lang, you get to save and invest a few thousand pesos every month, then that's going to go a long way. No? So bigyan natin kapag nakapagtabi tayo ng 20-20 lang, barya, no? So, literal na 20 pesos, barya na lang ngayon. Do that in a month, that's 600 pesos a month. So hindi natin napapansin yung pa 20-20 kada araw, 600 pesos na. And if you continue that in a year, 600 pesos a month will give you 7,200 a year. Not bad. Something you may use for you to be able to start investing in stocks, start investing in bonds, start investing in mutual funds, start investing in ETFs, or start investing in REITs. No? So there you go. Let me just quickly remind you that if you keep on spending and spending and spending money, especially on unnecessary stuff, you're going to keep on losing and losing and losing money. But if you make it a point to keep on investing and investing and investing and investing your hard-earned money, it will eventually pave the way for you to make your money grow and grow and grow and grow for you to eventually afford owning your dream home from Federal Land. So this has been Andoy Beltran from First Metro Securities, thanking you for the time. Everything you need to know about us, www.firstmetrosec.com.ph. Please like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and on Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and for questions, I know we have Q&A afterwards, but for questions, speaking engagement invites, I'm just one email away, ebeltran at firstmetrosec.com.ph. And I'm also the guy behind Let's Invest PH on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. So there you go. Thank you for having me, Federal Land, and Ianna, back to you.
Thank you so much, Sir Andoy. I hope you all, our audience has learned a lot from you today. Okay, so as mentioned earlier, we will be giving some raffle prizes. So Sir Andoy, would you like to ask a question, a trivia question or two, so we can check if our audiences are listening?
Sure thing. Siguro first question ko would be, how much would be your minimum investment amount if you'd like to invest in real estate investment trusts? So we talked about that during the presentation. I mentioned it one time too many. So I'm seeing correct answers no sa chat box natin. The first to answer, to give us the correct answer, was Nika Barte. So Nika Barte is the first to answer.
Congrats, Nika.
Congratulations, Nika. So one more, Ianna?
Yeah, one more. One more question ba?
One more question.
Sila.
Sige, good. One more question. Let's take it farther. Sa bandang umpisa tayo. My next question is there such a thing? So is this answerable by yes or no? Or none. There is or none. No, yes or no, okay lang din. Is there such a thing when it comes to investing? Is there such a thing as a low risk, high return investment? Yon, may nakita na ako. Sean Nepomuceno answered no or none. There's no such thing as a low risk, high return investment outlet. If you're being introduced to one, again, that's a red flag, because pagdating sa legitimate investments, not just in the Philippines, the lower the risk, the lower the return. The higher the risk, the higher the return. So there you go. First two winners of First Metro Sec and 7-Eleven e-vouchers. You have Nika Barte and Sean Nepomuceno.
All right. Thank you, Nika and Sean. Congratulations. All right. So moving on to our next topic. Ayan. So I will be discussing why rent when you can buy your dream home. So earlier, as mentioned with Sir Andoy, I really agree on that 70% of Filipinos don't even have their own homes yet. And the reason for this is a lot of them are having a hard time saving and investing. So of course, we can all agree that we all want our own dream homes. However, a lot of people are stuck in this dilemma. Should I rent or should I buy? Because of course, if you can't buy outright and you need a home, the option will be to rent where you're staying. While there is no absolute better choice between renting and buying, ultimately, you have to decide what best suits your needs. So these are some factors you have to consider when renting or buying a property. First is your budget. Can you buy a property outright or on installments? How much of your monthly income can you commit to a monthly amortization? And actually, for this naman, as mentioned then by Sir Andoy earlier, there's no walang masama na umutang. That is why we have the banks. We have invited PSBank. So later we can discuss about how you can get a loan na uutang ka just so you can buy a property. So they also say that the most important thing in real estate is location, location, location. While this is true, convenience comes at a price. So a property in a good location with infrastructures and nearby malls and schools are more expensive than those that are in remote areas. Next is, what is your purpose? Are you planning to buy for your personal use or for your investment? Are you renting ba because you just need a halfway home and you don't really see yourself permanently staying in that location? And of course, your long-term plans. Perhaps you're planning to start a family soon. Does your job require you to relocate often, or do you have plans on migrating abroad? So you have to assess yourself first so you know what is best suited for you. And of course, in every decision, you have to weigh the pros and cons. So I'll show you some of the best reasons why renting is a good idea. So in renting, there is no long-term financial commitment. Hindi po ito para sa mga takot sa labels and commitments ha. So para to sa mga hindi makapag-commit ng talagang monthly long-term, they can pay the monthly amortization of the property. Kasi of course, when you're investing in property, you have to understand that ang ayaw nating mangyari is magkaroon ng delays or ng penalties, or worse, ma-forfeit yung payments natin. In renting, you just have to make sure that you pay according to your rental contract. Next is, it's easier to relocate. So going back to what I mentioned earlier about your plans, if suddenly you need to move to another company or you need a bigger space now that you have a growing family, all you have to do is talk to your landlord about your contract renewal. But of course, the biggest downside of renting naman is no matter how long you rent the property for, it will never be yours unless you buy it from the owner. So these are the benefits of, the advantages of buying a property. So firstly, owning a property helps you build your assets and credit score. This is most especially important when you're establishing your credibility. So let's say you are going to get a loan, for example, and also for those who have experience applying for visas, proof of property ownership will help in establishing your asset value, especially for the young and the single. Next is the sense of ownership. You get to have a place you can call your own. So let me ask you, would you rather say, I'm renting this place, or I own this place? Next is, when you own a property, you have a stable and permanent home. You have something to shelter yourself and your loved ones and eventually pass it on to your heirs. So who among you here remembers Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Diba, the very basic need of man is physiological, which is air, food, water, and of course, this includes shelter. A home is a shelter, and therefore, real estate is a basic need. Okay, so let's say your plans have changed. In renting, you can easily move. If you own the property, you can have it rented out, and that gives you a passive source of income. And should you wish to resell your property, you will benefit from the appreciation value. The price of that you bought the property or that condo or piece of land for will become more expensive in the next few months of years to come. So this is also what Sir Andoy has mentioned earlier. It's because of the law of supply and demand. So yung population natin, pataas ng pataas, and yet, hindi naman nadadagdagan yung mga lupa. So that's why tumataas talaga ang value ng property. And to prove my point, who among you here have parents or grandparents who have said something along the lines of this? Yung dati binebenta o sinasangla lang sa akin yung lupa ni Kwan or doon sa province or somewhere. Kaso di ko kinuha. Ngayon, magkano na? Sayang. So you see that regret. They say mistakes are the best teachers, but mistakes are also expensive. That means yung property na nag-appreciate before, hindi na nila mabibili yun ulit at this price. Because lumipas na yung oras. Yun yung presyo niya before, iba na yung presyo niya ngayon. So let's learn from their mistakes and grab that opportunity when it comes our way. Okay, so now you're still asking yourself, should you rent or should you buy? Ladies and gentlemen, whenever you're torn between two things, especially with investments, check to see if you have an option that can give you the best of both worlds. So as mentioned nga earlier, if you want the best of stocks and mutual funds in one, you can get the First Metro Exchange Traded Funds. If you want the best of mutual funds and real estate in one, you can get the Real Estate Investment Trust. Both of these you can get from First Metro Securities. Now, if you want the best of home ownership and renting in one, get a lease to own. Yes, it's possible to rent that property now and eventually buy that dream home of yours. And this is especially made possible by Federal Land. Federal Land is a premier real estate developer which holds a legacy of personifying and reshaping the skyline of key cities in the Philippines with iconic structures and world-class developments for over 45 years. So why should you choose Federal Land? Well, one vital reason is its financial stability and its industry track record. Federal Land is a member of GT Capital Holdings, one of the largest business conglomerates in the country, with a market capitalization of 3.5 billion US dollars. GT Capital Holdings owns market-dominant businesses in the underpenetrated sectors of the economy. In banking, Metro Bank; in automotive, Toyota; in property development, Federal Land Inc.; in life and general insurance, AXA; and infrastructure and utilities, Metro Pacific Investments. Federal Land has a number of prestigious global brand partnerships for its various property developments and reinvents the standards of project planning and development with innovative technology. Federal Land delivers real estate projects that are of world-class standards in design and structural durability, thus this partnership with the experts in the industry. We work with international best-of-class brands in construction and architectural design. Federal Land has increased in value significantly since launch, particularly in the BGC Taguig and Macapagal Bay Area, Pasay, by 130 and 260% respectively. Historically, real estate project values have grown consistently throughout the years and continue to do so, making real estate the best investment option, despite the economic or pandemic situation. Federal Land has an extensive project network with most residential condominium projects strategically located in the central business districts of the country. With 13 active residential projects, Federal Land takes pride in business development program, which focuses on building properties in prime locations with high market value growth potential. Now I will show you some of our ready for occupancy properties with available lease to own terms. But first, what is lease to own? So normally, when you buy a property, you have to settle the down payment and balance first before you can use the unit. With lease to own, you can move in na agad while you're still paying for the down payment. The advantage here is you're already using the unit while you're still building up your equity. So what you have to do, so this is our promo lease to own terms. First is you have to settle the security deposit, which is equivalent to 4 months rent plus 1 month advance rent. Then the remaining down payment can be paid in 15, 24, or 30 months. So the security deposit will form part of your equity. And if you'll ask me, this is already a great offer. Because wherever you're renting, the landlord will always ask for deposits and advance rent. I even know some unit owners, they require 1 year. 1 year na advance payment. With us, it's only 4+1. So currently, we have 4 lease to own options. So you can opt to get a 10% down payment payable in 15 months or 20% down payment either payable in 30 or 24 months or a 30% down payment in 30 months. Then by the end of your lease term, should you opt to buy the property, the balance can be applied for bank financing with the help of our guests from PSBank. Okay, so what if you have the money to pay for the spot down payment? Let's say you have the money, the 10, 20, or 30% outright, you can pay it. You can get a bank financing term instead. So the difference here is first, you pay your reservation fee of as low as 20,000 pesos, depending on the unit and the property. Then you pay for the spot down payment, either 10, 20, or 30%. Then you can proceed in applying for a bank loan for the rest of the balance. Then once everything is settled between you, the developer, and the bank, you can then finally move into your unit. So what's the advantage of paying a spot down payment? You can get up to 20% discount of the property's total contract price. For the bank loan application, later on, PSBank will expound more on this, including the qualifications, requirements, and the steps on applying for a loan. Now let's take a look at some of the properties we have to offer. Just a disclaimer though, that the figures you will see on screen are only an estimate based on the current availability and terms. You may ask your respective sales agents and your brokers to give you a more detailed investment proposal. Exploring the beauty of space and greenery in Marikina City, Tropicana Garden City is its own upbeat, modern, and vibrant mixed-use town with a shopping mall and multi-story parking building, all designed for the convenience of its residents, with its condo units nestled against the wondrous backdrop of Sierra Madre mountain range in the east and a spectacular view of the metropolis in the southwest. Tropicana Garden City residents will enjoy living near major weekend destinations, central business districts, lifestyle hubs, and premier schools. For our next property, it's located strategically in the heart of Paco, Manila. Peninsula Garden Midtown Homes is a kid-friendly residential condominium community designed to give a 100% safe and nurturing home for you and your children. Half of the property is dedicated to a huge garden for great outdoor adventures and relaxation. The community also offers multi-purpose halls, gyms, swimming pool, daycare center, playground, meditation garden, clubhouse, and more. Located at Don Chino Rosas Avenue, Makati City, surprises await at every corner. Just a stone's throw away from Sunday markets, luxury malls, office towers, and green parks, Paseo de Rosas is a ready for occupancy home that is truly yours within the Makati Central Business District. Paseo de Rosas is a two-tower condominium community that matches the excitement of Makati City, the vibrance of life with its outstanding amenities, exclusive community, and the convenience of having it all in one place. All put up together, add up to one great home. Delight in the right space that take you places in Green Hills. Set in a space that provides easy access to the major thoroughfares and central business districts in Metro Manila, One Wilson Square is an upscale condominium community in Wilson Street, San Juan. It's a stone's throw away from Green Hill Shopping Center, the intersection of EDSA and Ortigas, making a drive to Ortigas and Makati Central Business Districts easy. Its prime location sets it near major commercial establishments, top-notch schools, modern hospitals, avant-garde art galleries, an exclusive country club, and affluent communities. Journey beyond the ordinary with us, Marco Polo Residences in Cebu embodies the spirit of the explorer. It brings to light the best of Cebu in its first branded residence, where the typical is spectacular, the everyday unusual, and the common breathtaking. Nestled at an altitude of 600 feet at the prestigious Nivelle Hills, Marco Polo Residences offers panoramic view of the sea, sky, and city. Residents will enjoy hotel living like no other with a hotel a la carte services and beyond the usual amenities. With proximity to the city's business district and entertainment scene, Marco Polo Residences presents a perfect balance of rural serenity and modern sophistication to suit your way of life. For many people, it's a rarefied way to live, but for us, it's simply Marco Polo. So aside from the ones that I just showed you, these are our other ready for occupancy projects in other areas. And as much as I want to share with you all our available properties, because there's just so many to choose from, I will leave that up to your sales agents and your brokers to give you the best option that is best suited for you. So now that you've decided that you want to get the lease to own term, so what's next? So you have this early move-in process, which is just as easy as 1, 2, 3. So the first step is to choose your unit. Which location and property do you prefer? What kind of unit? Is it a studio, a 1-bedroom, 2, or perhaps 3-bedroom? Next is to settle the payment and submission of the requirements. Then, once the account is booked, we will proceed with the printing of the contract of lease. So with the contract of lease, it has to be signed and submitted along with the post-dated checks. Then, once everything is good, you may now schedule for the turnover of your unit. Usually, this takes at around 10 days from the actual booking. Now, before your lease contract ends, which is usually 6 months before the end of contract, you may already submit your intent to purchase the unit. So, you can opt to get the unit or pwede rin namang hindi. Pwedeng hindi nyo na rin siyang ituloy. So, parang renta lang talaga siya. But at least this time, lahat ng binayad nyo during the security deposit, the advance rent, and the rest of the rentals, these are all credited to the total contract price. So whatever the balance is, yun na lang yung ilo-loan natin sa bank. So how about if you choose to pay a spot down payment and apply straight to bank financing? Well, after you've chosen your desired unit and pay for the reservation fee, you can settle the down payment already, which is equivalent to 10, 20, or 30%, and then we can proceed with the application of your bank financing. So with this, our friends from PSBank, they will expound more on this, on how you can apply for the loan. And after that, once everything is settled between you, the bank, and the developer, you can then schedule for the turnover of your unit. All right, so that's it for federal land, and I hope this discussion has helped you in your property investment journey. For more details on how you can avail your property, or for more details on the pricing or other investment, other payment term options, you can contact your respective sales agents and your brokers. Okay, so now that we're done with federal land, we can now proceed with our friends from PSBank. So, simple, isang araw lang. So let me introduce our guest speakers for PSBank. So our next guest is Mr. Arman Laureano, a Senior Assistant Manager of PSBank. He joined PSBank in December 2006 as a sales associate for personal loans. He graduated from officership training of the bank in July 2009, and he is currently a home loan account officer. And we have Miss Cecille Rios. She is an Assistant Vice President of PSBank. She started as a branch head at the Pasay Taft branch in 2005. In 2006, she moved as the head of the main office branch. By 2009 to 2019, she became the area and region head of 45 branches. And at the end of 2020 to present, she is the division head of indirect mortgage channel. So now may I call on Ms. Cecille and Mr. Arman Laureano of PSBank.
All right. Thank you, Ianna, for the kind introduction. I will be joined later by my account officer, as mentioned, Arman, after we've shown our presentation. We welcome opportunities such as this, showcasing the inherent synergy amongst partners, or shall I say, related companies, the federal land, and of course, the First Metro. Thank you for arranging and hosting this seminar. Earlier, I agree with Andoy when he mentioned that real estate is one of the investments that you need to venture, because investing in a home would deliver significant earnings through property appreciation. Did you know that our country experienced a property boom since 2010? With prices rising by 125%. So therefore, if you acquired a property maybe in BGC in 2010 at, for example, 5 million, the value is already what? 12.5 million at this time. So with the projects presented earlier by Federal Land, you will get the value of your major investment. And one of the compelling reasons to invest at this time is that property prices, especially in the new growth centers, such as the ones being offered by Federal Land, has not, skyrocketed yet, therefore offering a good upside potential. Second is the availability of credit from financial institutions. That's why we are here. Through the pandemic, the pandemic threw us into a new set of challenges. It certainly is a game changer and tweaked the way we do things. I remember pre-COVID, we would go to different developers, meet brokers and agents, and nowadays we have less person-to-person contact, less of the showroom interaction, and more of customer acquisition through digital means such as this one. Social media as well has significantly impacted the landscape of the housing loan industry, driving it to perform better and offer customer quality products. Home ownership, be it an acquisition of a condo unit, house and lot, construction or renovation, is a major decision for individuals and families. And since the pandemic has changed the landscape of things, it now becomes a school, an office where we're doing our work from home arrangements. Or the new resto as dining in becomes rare these days. Previous times, investors think that, home loan is a very tedious and long process, but we at PSBank choose to keep it simple for our customers. From applying for a loan, getting the proceeds, doing the documentation, or completion of the post-booking requirements, and down to the time when the loan matures and all the documents are closed in favor of the homeowner. We take pride with our one-day turnaround time. The reason why we mentioned earlier that it's really isang tulog lang for credit approval for accredited developments. Even for those non-accredited, we have a respectable shorter turnaround time, faster than our peer banks. Key is we have to have the complete information and the required application documents submitted for us to make an evaluation and then eventually a credit decision. And mind you, we do it very fast. We have prepared a very short yet informative video, which we formatted differently from a regular product presentation. We zeroed in on commonly asked questions we encounter during the home loan application process. Right after the video, myself and Arman will open the floor for other questions that you may have. Thank you once again. Do remember that we at PSBank take pride with our commitment to exceptional customer experience. Simple lang, maaasahan. Let's watch this.
Who are eligible to apply for a PSBank home loan?
Filipinos or dual Filipino citizens 21 to 65 years of age and who have gainful source of income are eligible to apply.
What are required to be filled out or submitted upon application?
For us to begin processing the application, you must ensure complete and accurate submission of the following: a completely filled out and signed PSBank home loan application form, We can send you an e-copy of the application form or get it from any of our branches or download it from our website www.psbank.com.ph. A copy of the notarized contract to sell, reservation agreement, or official computation sheet from the developer, copies of the valid IDs of the borrowers. We accept photo and signature bearing Philippine government-issued IDs such as SSS ID, Philippine passport, among others. Copy of the marriage contract if married, and a copy of the latest income documents, latest income tax return, and certificate of employment for employed, latest income tax return, and audited financial statement for self-employed or for OFWs, latest job contract or certificate of employment, and proof of remittance or payslips to establish income for the last 3 months from date of application.
Are Filipino citizens based abroad eligible to apply for a PSBank home loan?
Filipinos based abroad may apply for a home loan provided they will appoint an eligible attorney-in-fact or loan administrator based locally. This person must be a relative who is of legal age and is permanently residing in the Philippines.
Are foreigners eligible to apply or avail of a PSBank home loan?
Pursuant to Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas Circular Number 1058, resident foreign nationals are not eligible to avail of real estate loans.
Can a Filipino married to a foreigner apply for a PSBank home loan?
Yes, provided that the Filipino principal borrower has a gainful source of income and is not dependent on the income of the foreigner's spouse.
Can I apply for a PSBank home loan even when I'm not legally separated or annulled?
With the absence of a formal legal separation or annulment, a person is still considered married in the eyes of Philippine laws. As such, your spouse must still be a party to the mortgage loan as co-borrower and co-owner.
Does one need to have a PSBank deposit account to be eligible to apply for a home loan?
A PSBank deposit account is not a requirement nor a prerequisite to apply for a PSBank home loan. However, we encourage all our loan borrowers to open a deposit account for better administration of the loan in the future. Besides, we take pride in our products and services. Add to that our fast, easy-to-use 24/7 PSBank online and mobile app, the only thing we need for our digital banking requirements.
Do we need to pay an appraisal fee upon application?
Generally, yes. However, there are instances when appraisal fees are waived for acquisition of properties from our accredited developers.
How much can be borrowed or financed by the bank?
We can finance up to 80% of the total contract price or TCP of the collateral property.
What is PSBank's longest loan tenor? Up to how long can I amortize my loan? Do you provide for an interest rate fixing period? How long?
We provide up to 25 years for the acquisition of condo, house and lot, and townhouse, provided that the principal borrower will not exceed age 65 at loan maturity, or up to 10 years for the acquisition of vacant lots, provided again that the principal borrower will not exceed age 65 at loan maturity.
How soon can you decide on an application, approved or disapproved?
PSBank is known for consistently giving quick credit decisions. We can give the credit decision within 24 hours or 1 banking day from the time of encoding of the home loan application. We notify you every step of the way. During the initial stages, you will receive an SMS notification when your application has been formally accepted and encoded, and another SMS to advise you of the credit decision.
How much are the bank fees and what do they comprise of?
Bank fees, ranging from 2.5% to 3% of the approved loan amount, must be settled prior to loan release. Standard bank fees account for processing fees, mortgage registration related fees, notarial fees, documentary stamp taxes, and the first year premiums for the required credit life and fire insurance.
Can I make bulk or balloon payments on my home loan?
You can make balloon or bulk payments on your home loan account at any time without processing fees. Subject to your preference, Such payments may either shorten the term of the loan or reduce the loan amortizations.
Can I cut short or pre-terminate my home loan at any time?
Yes, you may pre-terminate or pay off the home loan at any time prior to the maturity date without pre-termination fees being charged. However, we advise our clients to closely coordinate the final settlement or payoff amount relative to the expected date of pre-termination.
How does one get accredited with PSBank as home loan agent or broker?
One needs to submit a completely filled out and signed home loan agent or broker accreditation form, together with clear copies of 2 valid government-issued IDs. All applications will be reviewed, evaluated, and verified by PSBank according to its set procedures and standards for accreditation.
There you have it. The floor is now open if you have further questions.
So we have one question here. If one invests in a property payable in, say, 10 years, then to some unexpected event, the buyer cannot pay the property after 5 years anymore, can the buyer get back the amount that he or she invested over 5 years, or how would this situation be addressed?
Arman?
Good morning. I presume that the question is addressed to PSBank. Of course, for home loan, the amortization must be paid on time. But if the client is unable to pay the amortization on time, there will be penalties. And if, say, for example, in this question, 5 years, I believe the property will be subject to foreclosure already.
All right, I hope that answers your question, Alan Lim.
Just to expound, no, the amount paid, no, for example, for the first 5 years, of course, it will not be refunded to the borrower. The solution would be to look for another buyer that would, acquire the current property of the borrower. And then eventually, it will be taken out from us, whether the second buyer will avail from us or it will be taken out to another bank.
Okay, so next question from Ima Jarling. What is the age limit to get a home loan?
The minimum age requirement is 21 years of age, and the borrower should not exceed age 65 at loan maturity.
Thank you, Sir Arman. Next, how much income do we need in order for us to loan for at least 3 million?
The general rule is that the amortization of the loan that the client is applying for must not exceed 30% of the monthly income of the borrower. That's the general rule. So the monthly amortization of the loan must be ideally within 30% of the monthly income of the borrower.
Thank you. Next is, if a buyer is a Filipino abroad but is not a Filipino citizen already, nor without a dual citizenship, is he or she can apply for a loan? So the Filipino abroad
As
is no
mentioned
longer...
earlier, pursuant to Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas Circular number 1058, yes, we can only grant loans to Filipinos or dual Filipino citizens.
All right, thank you. Okay, any more questions, everyone? Even if it's related to Sir Andoy or my presentation, please feel free to type in all your questions. So next, there is a question here. Do you accept construction loan for a house? What is the process for this?
Yes, we also accommodate construction loans. So the client just needs to submit to us the complete requirements, which include, among others, a copy of the title and the building plan, because the loan amount will be based on the value of the lot as well as of the proposed structure. And for construction loan, the release of proceeds is staggered depending on the percentage completion. And by the way, we can finance up to 80% of the total appraised value of both the lot and the proposed structure.
All right, thank you. How much is the interest rate today?
The prevailing rate of the bank for 1 year fixing period is 6.25%. That's the prevailing rate of the bank for 1 year fixing period. And then for 5 years, it's 7.5% per annum. But I always tell my clients that when it comes to mortgage loans or home loan, we should also consider the other product features, not just the interest rate, because home loan is generally a long-term loan. So we should consider the features of the product we will benefit from in the long run. Having said that, with PS Bank Home Loan, we allow balloon payments. Unlike other banks, with us, balloon payments do not have restrictions at all.
All right, thank
It
you.
means that the borrower can make balloon payments at any time without processing fees. And with the balloon payment, the borrower may either shorten the term of the loan or reduce the amortization. So it's basically a saving on interest payment. And we also allow pre-termination of the loan without pre-termination fees.
That's the
All right.
biggest advantage with PS Bank, because in other banks, no other competitor banks, when you do a prepayment, they charge 2% penalty based on your outstanding balance. Aside from that, if you want to make a balloon payment, say you receive a bonus and you wanted to pay 50,000 with your principal balance, and you can either shorter the term or minimize the monthly amortization. So that's the value of it. I mean, you shouldn't look at, of course, at the interest rate is very important, but looking at these benefits, we also have a rebate. Like, for example, if you pay in advance or in excess, that's of course, a very good savings for the investors or for the borrowers.
Thank you so much, Ms. Cecille, Sir Arman. Next, is the one-day process applicable abroad?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Provided that the complete requirements are submitted to the bank and the borrower is applying for a loan for his or her acquisition of a property from our accredited developer, the one-day processing time applies.
All right, thank you. From Christine, can we get a copy of the federal land presentation? Sure. Please send me your email address. I'll send it to you. Next, what are the limitations of a home loan if it's, number one, a house and lot, or number two, condo? Can we get any house and lot or condo of our preference?
May I see clarification on that question, please?
From Lay.
What do you mean by limitations of a home loan if it's a house and lot? Are you referring to the loan term?
Maybe limited, Arman, to accredited developers or secondary market. We both finance that one. Whether
Yes.
it be part of the property will come from our accredited or non-accredited or secondary market.
I see. Yes. We finance both, whether you are acquiring
Yes.
from our accredited developers or from secondary market.
Okay, thank you. Someone PM'd me. What should I do if I already paid for the property's equity, then found out I'm not eligible for a loan? No possible guarantors or co-buyers on my end.
Is that question addressed to PS Bank or to Federal Land?
To PS Bank, because they've already, let's say they've already paid the down payment with Federal Land and they're applying for a loan at the bank, and they found out that they're not qualified.
I
There's
see.
no guarantor or co-buyers.
As mentioned by Ms. Cecille earlier, the buyer has the option to resell the property. Or, for example, if there is a first degree relative that that can apply for the loan, we also accommodate that. For example, your parents or your children are
For your
eligible to avail of a loan.
siblings.
Yes, we also accommodate that. That's also possible.
Next question, I guess this is for Sir Andoy. When is the best time to invest in REITs?
Yeah. Ima, Jorling. Considering that the underlying assets, the underlying securities of real estate investment trusts are essentially real estate properties. Not that we're rushing you into things, but as soon as possible, because again, we've talked about several times over the law of supply and demand, that more and more people are demanding real estate, but there are less and less and less available real estate to construct new structures. No, so I think it's actually a good time to invest as soon as possible. Right now, you have a couple of options, but considering that they're also somehow newbies in the market, they have yet to reach their full potential, meaning they have yet to include several other properties in the basket, in the real estate investment trust basket. So you might want to take advantage of their somehow newbie price action now, because by the time they get full blown, by the time there's a few more real estate investment trust options in the market, I'm pretty sure more people will join the bandwagon. So Ima, that's it for Ima.
Thank you, sir. Another PM. If REITs are more affordable, why should we buy real estate? Okay, I can answer this. So, well, of course, REITs are a good kind of investment. So you get to become a part owner of commercial buildings, hotels, residential buildings of that specific trust. But the thing is, you just can't go inside the mall. Let's say this mall, you can't say that I'm a part owner of a REIT of this company, so I want to sleep in the mall. So you can't do that. So the main difference is when you're buying a real estate property, it's tangible. It's something that is truly yours, that you can live in, you can pass on to your loved ones, to your heirs. And so maybe Sir Andoy can add something.
Yeah. When you talk about real estate investing versus real estate investment trust, you're talking about real estate. No, sabi nga ni Ianna, it's tangible, it's yours, it's direct, it's something that you own. Another thing that sets it apart is the fact that by the time, yun nga sabi ni Ianna kanina, by the time you want to flip it, by the time you want to start moving to the province, for example, gusto mo nang mag-farm life, you have the option to directly sell it at your convenience. Pagdating kasi sa real estate investment trust, while it's under your name, no, parang naka-invest ka doon, when it comes to decision making, ano bang investment yung next na bibili natin? Alin dito sa hawak natin yung gusto nating bitawan? Wala kang call doon because you're a co-owner, no? Pagdating sa management, it's actually their call. We're not saying that it's a question of one over the other. So walang better when it comes to real estate and real estate investment trust. It really all boils down to the investor. Are you the type of investor right now, for example, who in all honesty can't afford to invest in real estate yet? Then sabi nga natin, yung presentation of First Metro Sec, that's okay because you have PSBank who can help you own your real estate property. Or kung sakaling hindi ka pa eligible, you're still hindi ka pa of age, hindi ka pa eligible to borrow, then you may start building your funds, building your war chest, start saving and start investing. So the closest thing perhaps you have to real estate investments right now siguro would be real estate investment trust, and then build on from there.
All right, thank you. So next question for PSBank, for ages 60 to 65 years old or the retirees who wants to buy a property, can PSBank still accommodate, and what are the options?
Yes, we can. For example, you are already 60 years old. We can still grant a loan to you for a maximum of 5 years. If you're, say, for example, already 65 years old and you still would like to apply rather for a loan, we can still accommodate it. Anyway, every application is subject to the standard credit evaluation and approval process.
Okay, so next question. For example, I was given a fixed 7% interest rate, like 1 or 5 years. On the sixth year onwards, how much would be the rates? Do you have an idea?
First of all, I would like to define interest fixing period. Interest fixing period is the number of years the interest rate may be fixed, or simply put, tuwing ilang taon naka-lock in or naka-fix or nagbabago-bago ang inyong rate. 7%, that is actually our rate for 3-year fixing period. So if you choose 3 years, that means the rate of your loan will change every succeeding period or kada tatlong taon. So for the first 3 years, the rate of your loan will be 7%. And then after 3 years, whatever is the prevailing rate of the bank at the time of actual repricing for a 3-year fixing period will apply. So we'll never know what the rates of the bank would be 3 years from now if say for example you choose 3 years fixing period.
All right, thank you. Next question, how is the computation of the loan and interest for early termination?
For pre-termination or early settlement, you only need to pay for the interest up to the date of full payment. Our customer experience will be the one to provide you with the computation in consideration, of course, of your mode of payment as well as of the date of payment.
Okay, thank you so much. Any other questions? Regarding po sa lease to own, makakredit po ba to sa quota ng mga seller? Yes, it is. Oh, yes, part siya sa sa quota ng sellers. All right, so is the term of the loan based on the credit evaluation of the borrower?
The term of the loan is actually based on the collateral for the loan as well as on the age of the borrower. So say for example, you're acquiring a vacant lot, we can grant up to a maximum of 10 years. For acquisition of condos, house and lot, and townhouse, we can grant up to a maximum of 25 years, provided that the principal borrower won't exceed age 65 at loan maturity.
All right, thank you. Sir Arman, can you please give your contact details? Someone is asking who to contact for a loan application. Maybe you can type it in the chat box so everyone can see it. And also for those who want to grab a copy of the federal land presentation, yes, you can email me. Lay posted my email address. Ayan, so Sir Arman has posted his number for, you may contact him for bank loan applications. Next question, do you accept advanced BAP/CMAP request before a buyer reserves to the developer?
I think that's for federal land.
Wait. For federal land, Miss Cherry, are you here?
Actually, it's for PSBank. Kasi there are buyers who wants to get checked na the BAP map kung may record sila before they reserve, kasi they are afraid na baka after paying the full down payment, they will realize na hindi pala sila approved sa bank, so it will be non-refundable. So kung si PSBank pa, nag-a-accept sila ng advanced BAP map request.
Actually, we don't do such a checking prior to application. We ask our clients to submit the application requirements so we can process and evaluate the application and arrive at a credit decision, ma'am. So the client needs to apply for us to be able to say whether or not the application is approved.
Yes, but basically naman, we need not pre-qualify, no? Because as a borrower, if you have, unpaid credit cards or unpaid loans, but if there's none, definitely there's no reason for you to be disapproved. If you have a valid source of income, then by all means, you can apply to PSBank.
There are buyers kasi parang they don't want to admit that they have credit card findings. So, even if we ask them na if you have unsettled loan ba, ganyan sa credit card company or any financial institution, they will tell us na wala. But eventually, upon checking na nung nasa bank stage na, meron siyang record. So, doon nagkakaalaman. Kaya kung ayun lang, just
I
taking
see.
any chance na baka lang possible with PSBank yung advance before the reservation.
As much as we want, but we are prohibited from providing pre-information prior to the actual application.
All right, thank you.
In addition to that,
Chris.
in addition to what Miss Cecille said, having an adverse credit rating does not necessarily equate to disapproval of the loan. We've had clients who have adverse credit ratings but still get approved. In the same way that we have clients who do not have any adverse credit rating but do not get approval. The bottom line is the client needs to apply for us to be able to evaluate the application.
That's right.
Do you have yung parang years that you allow yung record na maging approvable siya?
Wala po.
Cool off period ba tawag doon? Cooling off period, sort of walang ganon. Parang within 5 years hindi kahit isettle niya yung kunyari they have credit card findings, kahit isettle niya yon just to get approved dun sa loan, hindi pa rin siya maa-approve.
I'll answer that. No, for credit card outstanding balance, the borrower can fully settle the loan, provide the bank with a certificate of full payment, and then we can do an appeal. For example, at first instance, the application was disapproved. There were several cases already that, some of our borrowers had this, sometimes may mga financial downturns, that they encounter, but eventually they were able to fully settle and they were able to get the certificate of full payment. A lot of them are approved. No? So, kasi, at any given time naman, we undergo maybe financial difficulty, but for as long as you fully pay your loan, then in most cases we do consider, provided other factors are met.
Okay, that's good news. Thank you.
Thank you. So next, we have a payment term now of 15% down payment and 85% balance for bank financing. PSBank only allowed 80% of TCP. And I guess this other one question is related. As per PSBank, you can only approve up to 80%. Is it possible for 90%?
We can only finance up to 80% of the total contract price of the property. For any deviation, we may elevate to higher management subject to approval.
Thank you. Next from Ricky, kung halimbawa sa akin name yung house loan, then let's say I died after 1 year, pero updated ang payment, what will happen to the house?
The loan is under, okay, Arman, you answer.
Go ahead, ma'am, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to be clarified, the property is, who is the owner and who is the borrower? The one who died or the...
Well, I guess the owner is the one who died. The borrower pala. Sa kanya nakapangalan yung house loan. And then he died.
All right.
After a year.
For all housing loans, you are covered with credit life insurance or mortgage redemption insurance. Therefore, if the borrower dies, that insurance coverage will pay off the loan.
All right. Thank you. For Mr. Beltran, at this time, which can you recommend? stocks or REITs? And are REITs available now? As announced before by some developers, but are they available now?
Yeah, it really depends, Eric. No, it really depends on the lifestyle, the profile, the capacity of the investor. You can't compare stocks and REITs apples to apples because iba yung behavior nila. When you talk about again stock market, you're buying businesses. When you talk about real estate investment trust, you're indirectly owning real estate property. So that being said, iba yung cash flow nila. Pagdating sa stock market, medyo mas mabilis. Pagdating sa real estate, yung valuation niyan medyo takes time. Yung revaluation niya, it also takes time. And ganun din pagdating sa...
Sabi niya nagkando siya lunch. Eh, sabi, kanina pa yun eh.
Yeah. So there, and then
Sorry, Sir Andoy, you were muted.
so there. As mentioned, no, iba yung behavior nila. When it comes to stock market, medyo mas mabilis ng konti yung pacing. And when it comes to real estate trust investing, you don't expect it to really go up and down that quick. Because pagdating sa REITs, ang selling point talaga niya would be the dividend payment. So it's not really up to me to decide which will be better for you. Ang role namin as as investment professionals would be to explain their features, to explain their benefits, and then it's going to be up to you to decide if it's something that fits your profile. No? Next question is, are there REITs available in the market now? Yes, there are 2 REITs available in the market right now. And then there are a couple of more in the offing. So ang requirement lang naman yan is for you to have an online stock brokerage account, and then you can buy it off of the market just like a regular stock. So yun yung differences nila, and then yun din yung similarities. Parang bumibili ka lang ng stock, but when it comes to the behavior, when it comes to the pricing, when it comes to the volatility, mas volatile ng konti ang stock market, and then mas stable ng konti ang real estate investment trust.
Okay, thank you. Or maybe I can add into that as well. I guess it depends on your capital as well, if you can diversify your investments. Kasi there's no harm naman in spreading your investments. But as mentioned, it depends on you or your capital.
Yeah. Again, it wouldn't hurt having both, no? Sabi nga natin, it's very budget friendly. So pwedeng ang mangyari, first payday you buy stocks, second payday you buy real estate investment trust, the next payday you buy mutual funds. So ganun siya kaganda, especially at this day and age, that you don't need to go out of your way just for you to start investing.
Okay. So do we have any other questions? So if we don't have other questions, tayo naman na magtanong to see if they are listening. So as mentioned earlier, we are giving away some prizes. Meron na tayong 2 panalo. So are you guys still with us? All right. So Miss Cecille, Sir Arman, would you like to ask some trivia questions to our audience to see if they're really listening?
Arman.
Okay. For acquisition of properties, how much can PSBank finance?
Okay, so keyboard warriors. Ayan, so we're seeing some answers here. Sir Arman, can you please tell us who won this round?
The first person who gave the correct answer was Mr. Don Esguerra.
Ayan, congratulations, Don. Next, Sir Andoy, another question.
Next question would be about mutual funds. Let's talk about mutual funds. When you invest in mutual funds, it's answerable by yes or no, or yes or no. When you invest in mutual funds, are you the one responsible for making investment decisions? Are you the one deciding which stocks to buy, which bonds to buy? So they're very quick to answer. So the first one to answer is, we have winner number 2. We have Nika Barte. Do we give it to Nika or do we Nika pa rin, no? So that means she gets.
What do you think, Sir Andoy?
Up to you.
It's your call.
Up to you. Up to you.
Our judges, Jerome, Lay, what do you think? Should we give it to Nika or the next right answer? Okay, so habang nagde-decide ang ating judges, I will announce the early bird who was here first and who is still here now. So let's congratulate AJ Mokiete. I'm sorry if I pronounce that wrong. AJ, so congratulations AJ, our early bird who is still here with us. From Jason, hindi pa tapos ang question, may no na agad. Alright, so my turn to give a trivia question. What do you call this program where you can initially rent a property then eventually own it? Ayan. So, ang bibilis nila. Nakikinig sila. So, ayan. You're welcome, AJ. So, our, tatanggapin ba natin to rent to own from Jason? Sige. Sige. I'll give it to Jason Caranzo. Congratulations. Okay, so, Lay, do we have another, ano pa ba? Do we have a prize pa ba?
We have 5. To Nika, can we choose another winner? Because she won already during the
Okay.
first round.
Sige. So, we'll give it to the next. Sino ba ang nanalo? So,
Si Maria Christine Barsha.
ayan. Congratulations, Christine Barsha.
Thank you, Nika.
All right. So, Lay, do we have another? Do we have room for one more question?
I think plus the early bird, it's 5 already. We have 2 and
Okay.
then we have 3 now.
All right. Thank you. So, anyway, do we have any more questions from our audience? Any more clarifications? Is there a link that would be provided to watch the replay of the webinar? Sige, please send me an email. It's, ito, I'll type it. Ayan, send me the email. Miss Ianna, nauna po ata ako kay Sir Jason. Lease to own, tama po ba? Si Demi, may nagko-contest ang ating mga hurado.
Yeah, actually, it's Demi. The first
Actually,
one is
ako
Demi.
yung nauna.
No, you're not kasama. Kasi
Oo.
host ka. I saw Demi. I first saw Demi's comment.
Ayan, okay, sige. So, congratulations, Demi. Sorry for yung sino na-announce ko kanina. Alright, so...
And siguro to answer Anton, no, yung request ni Anton, apart from the link Ianna is going to send you, First Metro Sec will post the recording of this webinar in our official YouTube channel. So, paabangan na lang siguro next week for us to provide you with the full run of this webinar para ma-share nyo rin sa mga friends and family members.
Will federal land offer REITs anytime soon? Sir Andoy?
Kasama si federal land sa pipeline, but when it comes to when, it's not a question of yes or no, it's a question of when. So hindi ko alam, I'm not in the position to divulge if it's going to be anytime soon, but nasa pipeline sa federal land.
Hey, thank you. All right, so last call. Any more questions from our audience? Going once, going twice. So Miss Cecille, Sir Andoy, do you have anything more to say?
Not,
For me, we are just a phone call away or email. The number of Arman will be posted there for be interested to apply for a loan. We have a number of account officers as well, not just Arman, to service your needs. And we thank you for this opportunity to be given a chance to present PSBank alongside with First Metro and Federal Land.
Sir Andoy?
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for spending your Saturday, Friday afternoon with us.
Going to Saturday ka na.
Excited now mag-weekend. But yeah, thank you for spending your Friday afternoon with us. Again, you need not go far. From the Metro Bank Group, you have PSBank, you have Federal Land, you have First Metro Sec to cater to all your financial requirements. We're very easy to find. We're very friendly. We're just one internet search away, but just in case you'd like to get things going, start investing, start saving for your real estate property, www.firstmetrosec.com.ph.
Okay. So for the winners pala, please don't forget to send me an email, iacpua@federalland.ph, para we can contact with you how you can get your prizes. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us today. And what better way than to invest in companies where we work hand in hand to help you in your investment journey. So for anything and everything investments, you have First Metro Securities. For your property investments, you have Federal Land. And for your banking and financing needs, you have PSBank. Again, this is your host, Ianna Pua, and I would like to thank our guests, Mr. Andoy Beltran of First Metro Securities, Ms. Cecille Rios, and Mr. Arman Laureano of PSBank. Thank you, everyone, and have a nice day.
Thank you.
Happy weekend.